Just catching up on things. I hope you're doing well. It's time for the Friday Night Live. Just seeing how my screen's doing here. Everything looks a little different. How are you all doing? Are you doing good? I notice on the news, which I haven't been watching a lot of, but when I do just click it on to see if I missed anything important. Jeez, people are hyperventilating. Everybody take a breath. Hello, hello, hello. Don't hyperventilate. I mean, it's just like, people, settle down. It's okay. You're here, you're breathing, you have a roof over your head, I hope. If you don't, we need to, get some support. There's a lot of support out there. We have what we need, right? So, clock back in for work. Are you gonna watch the vid while you're at work? From Florida. I just want to start with a couple things, and one is that I understand, this is why I don't really call races. I understand that some people go to the psychics and they're like, oh, she said it's going to happen, so it's going to happen. And I understand that. I read energy. Somebody said something about, oh, you said Beta was going to win. I read energy. The energy in Texas, and I'm sorry, I should be clearer about that. That's why I don't call exactly like who's going to win. It's like calling the Super Bowl. So I read energy, and the energy in Texas and the energy in Florida is that more people wanted Beto O'Rourke than they wanted Greg Abbott. More people wanted Chris than DeSantis, but I feel more like it's more the case in Texas that people wanted Beto. So, when somebody called me out for saying Beto wrong, Beto, whatever. Yeah, okay. So, let's be real, okay? If you're going to anybody in any profession, doesn't matter what it is, not just a psychic, do you expect them to be 100%? That's why we all we check out, what the the main vibe is that we're all getting. We did that all year in 2020. We did that all year with the election in 2020. So I just want to say, on the show with Corey on Wednesday night, Bridge KPN, and I posted it on my community page if you didn't get to see it. I think it's over 3 hours. But anyway, you don't have to watch the whole thing. I addressed it right off the bat. I said that I'm suspicious about, and I'm suspicious not just because I'm thinking that's fishy, because of the energy that I'm picking up on. I'm suspicious about Ohio, I'm suspicious about Texas, and I'm suspicious about Florida. Florida was more overt because Ron DeSantis rigged things so that he only, Republicans could really vote easily in the state of Florida. And if you are, yes, I do think that. I do feel that some, I mean, the way they're just like, oh, he just took it home, just like that, no contest. It was like, well, that raised a few eyebrows, I'm sure, in Florida and in the country. Same with Abbott. I mean, how do you go from what happened in Uvalde to hours later he was heading to a National Rifle Association convention? Oh, thank you. Somebody's giving me some credit. I said the Democrats would take it by the skin of their teeth. Go back and watch my videos. And Georgia is suspect because, we know that Kemp, rigged the map so he'd get more votes. It's the second time around that he did that. It might be the third time around that he did that. I'm not calling out like, this is not conspiracy. This is the energy that I have picked up. And I've been doing this work since 1993, so I don't want to hear any crap, okay? I'm just joking with you. I'm just teasing. So, a psychic impression is a certain type of a feeling. And you can practice and you can get real good at it. And I'm going to be teaching more classes, especially in the new year. But while I'm thinking about it, commercial break. November 19th, I have a pendulum class from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Saturday, November 19th, go to psychicannettedion.com to sign up. I know I'm not a good marketer. I'm doing the best that I can, but please sign up if you want to learn how to use a pendulum. It's a great tool. The pendulum also isn't 100%. It takes time and it takes practice. And whenever you're reading energy, there are a lot of variables. So Trump, I tried to get the instructions on how to keep the live chat up. Let me see if this will work. I'll do my best to. So what was Trump has been saying? He sent his people down to Florida to help DeSantis take the governorship for the first time. Well, that might be true. But the whole. I think there's so many things that have people on edge. So many things, obviously, but there's so many things to be grateful for. We have not lost our democracy. If anything, we made our presence known, and we're continuing to make our presence known. So. Everybody take a deep breath. Seriously, thank you. Take my pendulum class. And if you took the pendulum class, you can take it again. It's always different. And Lisa Sharp she's a way better marketer than me. But anyway, so, you turn on the news and they're literally hyperventilating. And guess what they're hyperventilating about? Somebody take a guess. Go on. You'll get the bell. I'll ring the bell if you guess. Guess what they're hyperventilating? Thank you. I feel better now. Guess what they're hyperventilating about on the news? Anybody? I'll wait a sec because there's a little bit of a delay. The youth vote made a big difference. Trump, exactly. Boy, that didn't take long. Yeah, you win. That's exactly what they're hyperventilating about. Now, I want to mention something, too. I always tell you to go to Midas Touch. I'm going to reach out to those guys and just tell them, I'm all in support of you. Midas Touch, what that YouTube channel is doing, what those guys are doing, those brothers that started that YouTube channel, is it's almost like they're putting a voice, they're saying what's in my head. And we all need this. We need a channel that's going to say what's in our heads. And what's in my head is, I don't give a rat's ass about what Trump is doing. Can I get a witness? I don't want to hear about it. Jordy is the favorite brother. They're really funny too. They get it. I have 4 sisters. I get it. You have these things with certain ones of your siblings. They want a voting age up to 21, the Republicans. Well, the Republicans just can't face the fact that they're not popular. Well, there's many reasons they're not popular. So last night, they did have a live show on Midas Touch. I don't know if it was that particular show, but they've been talking about the Democrats had huge wins. The Democrats had huge wins. The Democrats did, they just, some readers were saying that they saw Democrats being very happy. I saw wins. Fetterman, there were many races that we were on the edge of our seats, remember? Yeah, they're good. They're really good. And I think Midas Touch and channels like Midas Touch are going to replace mainstream media news. Because it's really hard to take, especially with the commercials. It's better to watch mainstream news on YouTube if you want to watch any of that. So there are a couple of different approaches to what occurred in the midterms that we could take. And one is that we could have an entire, say they could have an entire news show on MSNBC and CNN, although this isn't going to happen because these corporate stations are being controlled in terms of what they're told to talk about. So what they're told to talk about is what's going to make people like on the edge of their seats and all nervous. I'm telling you, it's a recipe for stress. So they could do many programs, at least this week, about, oh my God, all these Democrats won. They won here, they won here. There was like, Maura Healey in Massachusetts, the first openly gay female, and Kim Driscoll, I don't know her status in terms of that. But anyway, lots of women elected, Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan, and Jocelyn, and that other congresswoman, I forget her name, Molly, I think she might be a senator, I'm not sure. Molly, who chewed out one of the representatives on the red side about, going on about, all the Democrats are pedophiles. Go look up, go get a roster of all the Democrats that won on Tuesday. Go get it. Yeah, everyone's attracted to the train wreck, and we spend no time celebrating the victory and the results of all the hard work that we have done. Unbelievable. Anyway, hit the thumbs up if you're with me. Everybody who's with me. If you have a bell, ring the bell. I know, it's a lot. It's hard to take. It's if you don't have ways to de-stress, can't tell you how many people have been asking me, how do I de-stress? I did talk about it on Corey's Bridge Cape-Ann on Wednesday, but in a nutshell, if you're in anxiety, you have to stop everything. Just shut it down. You gotta laugh. Totally have to laugh. There was no red wave. Yeah, you gotta celebrate. You gotta celebrate. We're celebrating Grassroots of Democracy. We meet every Saturday. Tomorrow, we're gonna do some work, but we're gonna have a party. So come to our party. I noticed today that there was, I don't usually look at statistics and all that in terms of how many people we're reaching, but I saw that about 300 people, over 300 people who signed up for Grassroots of Democracy are receiving our emails every week with a Zoom invite twice a week. And we have about 18 people at our Thursday night meetings. So please come. Please come. Come to our meetings. Tomorrow we're having a party. We're having a blue wave party. We're calling it a blue wave because you know what? If the people that were most popular, the Democrats that were most popular got all the votes, if all the people could get to vote, then we would have all Democrats. I'm so happy you're here. We would. It's true. And I have had on my mind, I was really, really worried about the race in Pennsylvania, mostly the people that scared me the most, and there's some very scary characters out there, but way on the top of the list, number 1, Mastriano, number 2, Carrie Lake, and that's still, pending. For some reason, I wouldn't call it that I'm obsessed with Carrie Lake, but I'm very disturbed by Carrie Lake. She's a very disturbing human being because of the it's almost like I can feel the energy of the retribution that she has planned, and that woman is vicious. She's extremely scary. I don't know what the deal is. She's extremely disturbing. I can't listen to her. I have listened to her out of curiosity. But Carrie Lake has no intention. She has no intention of taking a loss, however it works out. She's like, She's like Trump's, I don't know. She's in the Trump club, I'll just put it that way. It's really, it's unbelievable. So I'm not going to so much, she's dangerous. I'm not going to so much dive into the energy of who's going to win that. I just want you to know that all day long, my guides have been saying that Hobbs will win. And I just got through at the beginning, if you just joined me, I just got through explaining when a psychic impression comes, I'm reading the energy. So I'm not necessarily seeing, celebration. But sometimes I do. But the people that are paying attention don't want Carrie Lake. Well, thank you for thanking me for being here. Yeah, thank you, Regina, so much for bringing that up. Regina's saying I was so worried about violence. We did have a blue wave. So I think that we're missing the things that we can be celebrating, and one is that we didn't have any violence. I mean, maybe a little incident here and a little incident there, but not like we were fearing. And when we think back to 2021, do you remember after the insurrection, when the inauguration day was on January 20th, how scary that was? Well, Catherine Master win over a lot of... Warren, I just got through saying I'm not calling the races. Pay attention, or maybe you just joined us. Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will read on Nevada and I'll read on Arizona. I'll read on Cortez Masto and I'll read on, Lake and Hobbs. But you have to make a deal with me. You have to understand. I just said I would do it now. But I'm going to use the disclaimer that I'm reading the energy, okay? And I would put money on it if there was a way to prove it. I know in Florida there was something up. DeSantis did not win the way that they're saying. They're doing a big recount in Nevada? Oh, I didn't know they were to that point. Texas. No, yeah. So I'll read it. And I'll do my best to read the outcome rather than the energy. I'll do my best. I feel a lot of positive energy around Katie Hobbs. I feel a ton of positive energy around Katie Hobbs. Yeah, there's tons of plans to cheat. Oh, somebody's husband slept like a baby after being so stressed. It's not worth stressing out to the extent where it's taking a toll on your health. I know a lot of people are saying they're not sleeping. Texas was fixed in the Houston area. I'm going to ask the pendulum right now. 18 minutes in and I'm getting to a question. I'm going to ask if there was something up with the vote in Texas. What I mean is, did Beto O'Rourke really win? Did he really actually win? It's saying yes. I'm going with that. Yeah, it's been, everybody just pat yourself on the back. I was just about to give, I really think he won too. And I don't think DeSantis won by a landslide. We'll get to that. So people are asking about Texas. Ways to calm down. I didn't finish what I was saying. If you're tense, if you're stressed, if you can go out and take a brisk walk, that will help a lot. Preferably do all of the above. Stop, take 5 minutes and breathe deeply for 5 minutes. If you can't breathe deeply for 5 minutes, breathe deeply 5 times. Because your body will freak out if it's not getting enough oxygen. And I can't believe how many people I work with that I say, take a deep breath, and then they go, okay, I took a deep breath, and I'm like, oh, you didn't take, what's that? That's not a deep breath. Thank you for all your lovely compliments. It inspires me to come on, because some days it's like, oh, I don't know, it's too much. but take deep breaths. Really watch your diet. Really don't eat junk. Thanks, Rhonda. You're calm and peaceful. Yeah, and you can, and if you wanted to watch the news, it's not that I'm not informed. I'm not watching the mainstream news much at all. But if you know what's going on and it's stressful, you got to be able to find your center. Learn how to meditate. I'll probably teach meditation in the new year. Or maybe I should do it during the holidays because people will need it. Is it going to be found out that there was something nefarious going on with the voting in Texas? I'm getting a yes on that. It will be found out that there was something nefarious going on with the votes in Texas. It will be found out. So, Mark Kelly definitely won in Arizona, right? Oh, interesting. No, Garden Girl says Carrie Lake said she would be Arizona's worst nightmare if she didn't win. That's interesting that you should say that. Because the thing that's been on my mind the most, and you guys are so sweet, thank you. I did do a reading on what was going to happen in Arizona, and I got the Three of Swords. I think I got it more than once when I was reading about Carrie Lake. And I felt really, really, really sad when I saw that. So it indicated a loss for her. And what I got really sad about was what she was going to do to this country. And I'm not necessarily pointing at violence, but what she was going to put this country through. Much like Donald Trump. She's a Donald Trump double. What's so disturbing about her is the way she's hiding her ugliness by her prettiness. There's nothing pretty about that woman. But she's doing herself up to look like a model and to be really articulate and really right in your face and speaking with precision, and she's very masterful at that, and she's fooling a lot of people. Because I don't think Carrie Lake has said anything about what she would do for the people of Arizona. That's the Republican way, right? She's definitely, yeah. And the other thing that will drive you crazy about what's going on is, and I don't know why this happens. Yeah, smash the like button, please. And I could use some more subscribers. If you want to subscribe, that would be great, too. Thank you. The thing that's just really hard to take, and the reason that I recommend not watching the polls, because how long has this been going on? Since they had all the wrong polls, and when I caught wind of what was going on with the wrong polls, that's when I stopped watching it. But this morning, I see a post that Mark Kelly won. Must have been 7 o'clock in the morning, right? Later in the day, I find out, well, he didn't really win. They think that he might win, but, and then how much of that can you take? Well, they won. Like last night, I heard that Lauren Boebert lost. Yippee, yippee, right? So you go, yippee, 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 right? You feel like you have the final answer, and then they come back and they're like, oh, well, she didn't. It's still going. It's crazy. Why are they subject? Something has to change. I'm sorry, I'm really on fire tonight. Something has to change. You can't be putting the American people through this. Just tell us when it's done. Tell us when everything's counted. That's mainstream media. But anyway, we should be celebrating. Carrie Lake if Carrie, no, we all know if Carrie Lake wins, it's going to be like, oh, good, I won, right? But if Carrie Lake loses, she's going to put us through hell. And I saw that. So it's interesting. I didn't know she said that she was going to be a nightmare for Arizona if she lost. What kind of person does that? Yeah, wake us up when it's over, right? But she has plans. I'll put it that way. She has plans. And she's the one that embodies the energy of January 6th. As badly as somebody who was there like Doug Mastriano. Double what, Warren? Many psychics said the election results would take days. Yeah, we all said that. And also, is there an official government website that shows the official counts? Yeah, energetically, Carrie Lake is just like a double. I don't know. Somebody posted if you know there's a place that you can go to for the final count. Yeah, and Sissy, I was just about to say that the runoff in Georgia between Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker is not until December 6th. I know it sounds so far away, but it's less than a month away. And before I jump into the cards, I just want to say, now is the time for us to help the people like Raphael Warnock. And the other thing that we need to, I was a little confused about this yesterday. I was like, in Cortez Masto, we want her to win, Catherine, in Nevada. I'm still receiving newsletters that are asking, Maria, that's so true about Carrie Lake, emails that are asking for money for Cortez, and then I recognize that if there needs to be a recount, they have to pay for it. So I encourage everybody to donate something to these candidates. I mean, a little goes a long way. A lot of donations are being matched. And if it really is going to help them and help to save our democracy, that's an investment that we're making in our future. Yeah, definitely donate. I mean, let's not get into all this, I can't afford to donate. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. But I just know human nature is if somebody really wants something, they can figure out a way to donate or, because you could just donate $5 and then it will be like, if they're quadrupling it, it'll be 20. Can't do math in my head. I've been donating for 3-4 months. I'm not saying I'm better than you. I'm just saying it's that important. It's that important. Yeah, donate to Warnock especially, and anybody who's in a race where they're doing a recount, because they'll need money to fund the recount. I didn't plan on picking a rune card, but here I am with the rune cards in my hand. So let's pick a rune card. Just about what's going on, the general energy. One thing is for sure, we are being called as American people to understand that this government is by the people. The reason it all went to hell in a handbasket is because people were just too busy to be involved in politics, and we forgot that it's not a spectator sport. It's a participatory form of government, which is why the rest of the world looks at us and, places that aren't democracies, and they kind of envy, that we have that. It's kind of like we're a bunch of children playing with our running our own country, and it's gotten to be a very diverse and heavily populated country. So it's a lot. It's complex. It's complicated. But it's up to us. If you have kids or grandchildren, or we were on autopilot. We weren't paying attention. And I have to say, just being in the new age, that whole realm of people. It used to make me crazy. Yay, you donated. I should ring the bell when you're saying you donated. It used to make me crazy that people in New Age circles, I remember Marianne Williamson saying this too, and I was like, yeah, I know, I totally hear what you're saying. That people that just were just doing all the spiritual stuff and they're healers and everything, they didn't want to mess up their energy with thinking about politics. And I was like, really? People that are spiritual, the ones that are needed, I mean, the practice being spiritual and praying and all that, meditating, we're the ones that need to, be involved to help people that are freaking out. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me pick a rune card. Okay, this is pronounced Manaz. Now, rune cards are from Viking times, rune stones. I have rune stones too. I showed them to you last week. I was displaying them and explaining them. I got moonstone rune stones, but it's easier to read off the card, and these cards are really good. So, self-development is paramount. So we're talking about the collective. Nurture and grow that which is natural and unique to us. So this is a guiding card. This is a guiding rune for the collective. So since I'm talking about our democracy and being a participatory form of government, I'm really proud of all the groups of, supporting democracy that have popped up as a result of all the drama we've been through. So your gifts are necessary not only for your personal development and fulfillment, but for the betterment of those in your community. So never doubt the magic that flows through our souls. This is our charge. This is our destiny. So this card is about us understanding our importance to the collective, the importance of how we're feeling and what we're doing, what actions we're taking. We had our day of just not doing our civic duties and not paying attention. We've been there, done that. It didn't work out so good, right? Give ourselves a pat on the back, and from this point forward, it's like I was saying to the Grassroots of Democracy group and in my vids, after January 6th, we had a second chance because we could have been taken over very easily. They're in a violent, murderous coup. Very easily, that was the plan. We got a second chance, take another stab at our democracy to see if we could make it better. And then these midterms, we got a second chance. And now that Warnock needs to win in Georgia and the other Democrats need to win, that are runoffs or ties or, it's going to be contested, we have a chance. And I do want to speak to, go to the people like, Greg Braden, B-R-A-D-E-N, Greg Braden, anybody who studies the science of how energy works. We are all electrical energy beings. And I say it all the time, when we think something positive and constructive, this is why the mainstream news makes me crazy, because it is a lot of physics, of metaphysics and physics. Meta being, beyond what we can really see. It's a lot of metaphysics that what we think about, energy follows our thought. So it's possible that enough people thinking about Democrats keeping the House, it's possible in the realm of possibilities in the universe that all of us together projecting that energy, Democrats keep the House, can make a difference. Right? We're all energy. We're all energy. So anyway, I love that rune card. That was really, really good. There's a little bit more here. It's kind of long, so I'm not going to read the whole entire thing. This is commonly associated with man and mankind. It also calls to our source and our original ancestors. This rune represents the core of humanity and the good that can be achieved when we actively work together towards our goals. These runes are uncanny. Tribal communities depended on each member not only to survive but also to thrive. By surrendering the ego and remembering our roots, so much more can be accomplished. Where this when Awa speaks to spiritual development in the chariot of the soul, that's a different rune. Ma calls to harnessing that elevated sense of knowing and oneness and putting it all to work in the physical realm. That's exactly what I just got through saying. So that's wicked cool, as we say in Massachusetts. Okay, so this is really about coming together. Imagine and manifest Democrats keeping the House and Senate. Yes, Libra lady. I know. These are great. These are from a company called Tamed Wild. They're not real cheap, but they're, I mean, I pick them up and I'm like, whoa, that's just, really? Are you just reading my mind? Crazy. Good stuff. So, I'm going to just use the pendulum right now to find out, I have to decide what cards to use tonight too. To find out what's up, we'll use this pendulum, with Carrie Lake. Yeah, it's been, we had, I mean, this is exciting. And you know what's really exciting is how many meditations I have. A meditation once a week where we visualize a healed America. It's like, and I have been like, you know, considering it's working. There's a chance of anything, sissy. Anything is possible. Glenn Kirshner on YouTube. Yes, right. Okay, so I'm going to ask, because you guys are asking, but this is with the disclaimer. I read energy. Is Katie Hobbs going to win in Arizona? That's a strong yes. I can feel it already. Let's look at some cards about her. I'm going to use my cards that I got last week. Last Friday. I've had them for a week now. So I'm going to pull cards about this race between Carrie Lake and Hobbs. The pendulum says Hobbs will win. And keeping in mind that I read the energy of what is the win, right? Greg Abbott did not win, nor did J.D. Vance. Sissy, we have a rule here. I think we went through this last week. And you might not know the rule on my channel because I don't have it like written anywhere. When I see a comment that's like a discouraging or a comment that indicates kind of it feels like a resigned feeling, like, oh no, then we ask you to not do that. Okay? So every comment here on the channel during the lives is, and I'm doing all lives lately because my iPad's always run out of storage and I'm not patient enough to go through and fix it. But anyway, we are going to be positive. So anything that feels resigned and like, oh no, and by the way, in my comments, when people leave comments that are like negative and like, you know Debbie Downer? Do you all know Debbie Downer on SNL? I don't remember the actress's name who plays Debbie Downer. It's kind of warm here actually. Somebody's asking about the weather. When I see a comment like that, it's gone. It's gone. Cortez Mastro just went ahead in the Nevada. I don't think I was saying her name right. Positive vibes help us. It's exactly what I was just talking about. Energy begets energy. So, and it's really fun to play with that too. Well, how do you think people manifest parking spots when they first learn the law of attraction? It's energy. Okay, I'm picking 3 cards about the race in Arizona between Hobbs and Lake. I'm reading the energy of it. I already got that Hobbs is the winner. What occurs is another story. That's probably the best way to put it. You know, Beto won. Whether that's what they come up with is a different story. Oh, I don't know if that, I mean, what you heard about Pelosi, I don't think there's any news about Nancy Pelosi, but I did read about her on the Wednesday night show on Bridge Cape Ann, and I didn't see her stepping down because that would be like giving the terrorists showing the terrorists that you were afraid. But I do think that her family, I do think Nancy Pelosi's family they're having family meetings about, what to do next. You feel and see a total blew out. Mastro is behind by 75 plus votes. See, and here's the other thing. Somebody just said she's ahead, and then somebody just said she's behind. We can't be doing that. We will make ourselves nuts. Rachel Dratch, is that her name? Is Debbie Downer on SNL? Will Abbott be sworn in? Well, right now we're on Carrie Lake and Hobbs. And I got the Hobbs would win. I've been feeling that all day, by the way. Surrender means it's going to go into some kind of a recount. Yeah, see, I haven't heard of Katie Porter one. I'm just reading the chat. I haven't heard, but I'm not even going to check for a few days. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen. She won. He won. Oh, he didn't win. Oh, winning. Oh, no, not winning. And I know it's because there are different districts and, counties and all that. And so I just don't understand why we're putting ourselves through this. Maybe just shut it all down for a month and then come back. She's not worried about Republicans getting the House, Pelosi. You mean this card this is the deck called Tarot of the Divine, which is pretty new. I got it last week. So I got the Hobbs is going to win, but that might not be what we see. Something's definitely fishy in Ohio. We're going to dig in, people. The night is young. So this is indicating that in Arizona between Hobbs and Lake there will be a recount. Yeah, Kevin McCarthy's such a lowlife. He's such a loser. Anyway, it's just an observation. Well, this is what I see. There's going to be a recount in Arizona. The King of Wands, this is indicating to me that there'll be some kind of a legal situation there in Arizona. And the Three of Cups is a celebration card. Liza Field's been carrying Warnock around with you. Yeah, that's a good idea too. I made my America collage. I told you all the story about finding Abe Lincoln in a magazine that I had no idea that I had. If you're in fear, you'll be jumping back and forth. Recognize it. Yeah, and even better, don't even watch the counting coming in. Doesn't make any sense. The Three of Cups indicates women celebrating. Carrie Lake is all pro-life, right? Carrie Lake is all like women shouldn't have any rights. Yeah, just keep praying. I see a recount. I see the law stepping in, but the Three of Cups is women celebrating would not be for Carrie Lake. There's no way J.D. Vance won. For entertainment purposes only, there's no way J.D. Vance won. Whenever I look at him and I read his energy, I know this might be hard to believe, but I have said it before. J.D. Vance feels guilty on some level. J.D. Vance feels guilty about what he's doing. And I always attribute that to his grandfather. And I started to say that, like many months ago, that J.D. Vance, around the time that he turned from saying that Trump was like Hitler, J.D. Vance went from that to Trump being his best buddy, and then Trump got up there and said, J.D. Vance kisses my ass, and J.D. Vance acted like he never said that. It was bizarre. But I always feel like J.D. Vance's grandfather is like you know the angel and the devil on your shoulder. You remember those cartoons? So J.D. Vance to me has always felt like his grandfather's on his shoulder saying, Now, JD, do you think that Jesus is going to like that? You know, that you're really not doing the right thing. So on some level, I pick up that JD Vance feels bad about what he's doing. Because he knows he's lying. He knows it's not for real. And I'm gonna just look at the pendulum to see, was there cheating in Ohio? And I'm talking about what the Republicans have been accusing the Democrats of for 2 years now, at least. Minimum 2 years. Was there cheating in Ohio? The pendulum is saying yes. It's never a good look to be groveling. No. It's like, where's your kahunas, your pride? Where's your dignity? I mean, these are things, these are qualities that are so integral to a person's well-being and to a person living what most of us would consider a good, wholesome life is, you know, being dignified, being respectful, earning that respect, having integrity, having follow-through, keeping your word, being, you know, somebody to be, you know, that you can be reliable with other people. They're all these important, honorable, having honor. I saw Midas Touch was showing a clip last night of, I don't know if you guys remember this, but around 2018, when Trump had a press conference, and Jim Acosta from CNN, no, Pete Alexander, I think they were both on CNN, just stood up. He got chosen to ask a question, so he started asking the question, and Trump gets like, you know, like an angry bull, like with steam coming out of his nose, and he just got like all revved up that he was being asked a question at a press conference by a reporter, which is what a press conference is for. And then Peter Alexander got up and he was kind of defending his friend Jim Acosta, and Trump was ballistic. It was so uncomfortable to watch. I do remember when it actually happened. That was on, Midas Touch put a clip of that up. And it was just, I was just dumbfounded, like, speaking about, you know, being respectful, having dignity. You can't even imagine Joe Biden doing something like that. You can't imagine it. Can't imagine it. You guys are talking about the Ohio and, oh, it's Vera's favorite time on Friday night. I guess I'll have to keep coming on. Let's see. Florida had the biggest impact of suppression. I'm pretty sure. I'm sorry you're stuck with DeWine for governor. Yeah, you know, we can't win them all, right? What did Tim Ryan was incredibly gracious? Yes. Oh, yeah. But I think Tim Ryan has a pretty strong suspicion. I think, well, I'm not sure about investigations. Sissy is asking, will there be investigations into rigged elections by the other side? I feel like the DOJ really has its hands full, and unless it's paid for by the person, you know, wanting the investigation, I mean, we can do a reading about that. But let's do a reading since we're on the topic of JD Vance. I'm gonna just pull 3 cards about, those are the states that I named. Yeah. Florida, Texas, Ohio, and Georgia. Sum things up. You won big in Colorado polls, but did you win? Is that the final word? That's what we want to know. I'm going to pull 3 cards just about JD Vance himself, like what he's thinking. Yeah, I really just don't think. Oh, and that mentioning some of these that got voted in, supposedly, let me just tell you, I feel like some of them that got voted in are going to not be in their seats for very long. And part of the reason for that I'm picking up is because of the January 6th insurrection and information and evidence. They have the receipts. on several people in Congress that were part of the insurrection. So we'll get to Trump. We'll get to Trump. Asking for prayers. Your parents, your bro in Florida, now stage. Send prayers to Rose Blue. Say prayers to Rose Blue's family. For Rose Blue's family, they're dealing with some challenges. The High Priestess, here it is. He's keeping a secret. I just said it. This is about J.D. Vance. I'm pulling 3 cards on how J.D. Vance is feeling. I just got through with my big spiel about he knows he's lying. And he knows that he's hiding stuff. And the High Priestess indicates keeping secrets. We'll take a look too at whether this stuff is going to be outed. The Queen of Swords, somebody knows. Is J.D. Vance married? Does he have a wife? I'm just wondering if it's her. The Five of Swords. I actually feel like J.D. Vance, something's going to be found out about J.D. Vance. Doesn't make sense that Tim Ryan lost. That doesn't make sense at all. But the Five of Swords, I was asking how he feels within himself. Somebody knows that it wasn't honest what he was doing. The High Priestess indicates he knows that there are secrets being withheld. But the Five of Swords this is not a happy card. It's a Five of Swords. Look, she's crying. It means that really does feel like sorrow. That there's sorrow. All these people are praying for you, and it will work. Praying for Rose Blue's family. Okay. I feel like it's interesting that I'm picking up on the female being his wife and having something to, like, she knows. Does his wife feel guilty about it? Yep. She knows. It looks like she's Indian from India. I wonder. Let's see. Vance is married. He's so unqualified. Yeah, and they are very, very unqualified. And I do feel like we're in kind of a weeding out. This is the beginning of a weeding out process. I'm just trying to remember what J.D. Vance was running on. Empty. The guy has just said empty. J.D. Vance was running on empty. He didn't have much. Texas, you're in Texas. Oh, how's it going, Rose? In Texas, I mean, besides the challenges of your family. Hit the thumbs up. Yeah, and thank you for hitting the thumbs up. Those of you who haven't, and also, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I come on. Sometimes people come on and they're like, oh, no, I didn't know you were on. And I posted a song that I wrote that was recorded about 10 years ago called War is Blind. If you want to check my community page, if you don't see my community page, type Annette Dion, War is Blind. It's a song that I wrote, really pretty song, as a tribute to a Vietnam veteran. So check that out. All is done? Or you mean all is well? I dropped a card. I'm going to get it with my foot. I did it. Okay. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up. My guys are fans of Jackson Brown. I'm like, yeah, J.D. Vance is running on empty. Running on empty. My last vid, Tuesday night, you guys asked me to sing God Bless America. Somebody told me it made them cry. I was so touched. Gloria, you always hit the thumbs up. Oh, Usha means dawn, from our Indian viewer. Running dry. All right. Is it going to get found out? Thank Thank you, Sylvia. Is it going to get found out? Yes, you always hit the thumbs up, Gloria. Thanks, and all you others that do. I'm going to say a big yay to Gretchen Whitmer. I mean, talk about power women. Gretchen Whitmer, you know, they had a plot to kidnap her, have hand ties, and to hold her hostage. Unbelievable. There were some really strong women, and I do think, and we need to check the stats on this, that more women were elected during these midterms than at any other time in history. I think that's true. Oh, Philip, you had civics in elementary school. That's great. Somebody said it's raining in Connecticut. All the rain that came up from Hurricane Nicole. I really wish they'd stop naming hurricanes after people. It's coming up this way. It's raining a little bit now. It's not too bad right now, but she's not from India. Well, her ancestors are from India, and we're talking about J.D. Vance's wife. And Michigan, you know, just speaking of Michigan now, Michigan had all those, it is really home to a lot of white supremacist domestic terrorist groups. So that's kind of a miracle. A lot of women, you know, women and Gen Z, which I really think they should change their name to. How about Gen A would be better. We don't want them to sound like they're the last generation ever. They made a huge difference too. So somebody look up the stats on that, you know, now or later, and I will too. I think there were more women elected into offices this midterm election than ever before in history. And that is a big freaking deal. Anyway, what am I looking at right now? Does anyone remember what I was? I talk too much. Well, I'm talking about the overall, the midterms. And I have temperance, which is about being patient. We must be patient. But while we're being patient, let me tell you a blessing in disguise. It's a blessing in disguise that Warnock and Walker are neck and neck, because it gives Warnock a long time. 3 weeks is a long time, more than 3 weeks, to make his case. And it gives Herschel Walker a long time to screw up more. Okay, Susan, I'm going to answer Susan's question. If there are more Democrats than Republicans, why are the races so tight? I think I went over that. Are there more Republicans than admit they are, or even though they are, or even though it's called redistricting, it's called gerrymandering, and changing the map, and voter suppression. Right? Am I the only one who knows this? It's called cheating. What did Ron DeSantis do? Ron DeSantis had, Warren, that's not what it is. Warren, are we going to have to put you in a timeout? Did you hear my little spiel about discouraging comments not allowed? Negative comments not allowed? So DeSantis was having, you know, like if somebody had served time in jail and they weren't allowed to vote for a certain amount of time, they actually literally received in the mail, here's your voter form, voter registration form. And they dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's and thought it was legit, they could go vote. People have been jailed for this. Well, people didn't used to vote, Warren. But now they do. We're changing that. Obviously, we're definitely changing that. So these people were being arrested for voting. In Florida, Ron DeSantis was getting people arrested for voting. You can look it up. It is like Jim Crow days. You can look it up. Oh, if you had a friend who said she could not care less and she was just being passive aggressive, don't you think? If she said I couldn't care less about voting, that's a friend? With friends like that, I mean, I think you need new friends, don't you? I'm messing with Warren. Yeah, she meant it. Yeah, but don't you think that that was kind of passive aggressive to say that? Okay, I'm picking 3 cards on... I'm following your conversation and I'm picking 3 cards on where we're going to go. Obviously it was passive aggressive, so you referred to that person as a friend, I believe. With friends like that, who needs enemies? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but my friends are my friends because they're like, we're like-minded, right? Did I miss something? Oh, there's another Annette here. That's a rare occurrence. I'm just sort of picking cards about the energy of the country, and here's what I get. And I got this before when I read about this. The world, we're looking much better in the eyes of the world. Thank you, thank you. Let's ring the bell on that. We're looking much better in the eyes of the world. The rest of the world says hope. Yeah. Yeah, so this is a general feel about America right now. Interesting. Oh, so this is just the general vibe right now. Temperance is we just have to be patient, okay? We'll work on our patience. The world is that we should be happy about one other thing, that the world is looking to America in a much better light. They're starting to trust us a little bit more. Yeah, Lindsey Graham talking about Herschel Walker. Oh my God, you have to look up that YouTube. It was disgusting. The Queen of Coins. Well, you know what? America's joining the rest of the ranks of the world that have women in positions of leadership, like for prime ministers and stuff. So, fighting for democracy is so much better than fighting against it. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it does feel good that we participated. It doesn't feel good to be on the sidelines. If you want to play the game, if you want to have an effect on the outcome of a game, of course you have to play the game, right? Right? Makes sense, everybody? So this is the energy of America and how we're being seen. And also, it's about the power of women. We're being seen as finally, I know, to the rest of the world that we actually talk about abortion bans alone is horrifying to other democracies. But it looks like the women having the power really made an impact. It is time for the divine feminine to rise up. Nothing against the masculine, but I'm telling you, Church of Spirituality that I do every Sunday, looking for any material that was written, sacred writings by females, very hard to find. Very hard to find. I have a lot of people listening to me. I don't know if that's a good thing. Lindsey Graham, oh my gosh, I mean, if it makes you feel any better, some of these Republicans are just a mess. Happy birthday. Some of these Republicans are a mess. They just, I mean, Ted Cruz literally was on Fox News going, oh, what was he calling them? Did anybody see that? Thank you for doing a great job there, Lisa Sharp. Thank you to the wrench wielders for sure. Did you guys see Ted Cruz on Fox? Just calling the liberals, all these leftists, these crazy, I forget his terminology, but he was calling the left like, we're crazy and we're just off the rails, and he's just referring to the liberals like, you know, like we're the most worst people ever because the Democrats had a plan. The Democrats had a plan. Yeah, I know. I just like to see what stupidity is coming out of his mouth. Psychically, I got that he smells bad. That was months ago. And then somebody told me that he did. Fox is freaking out. We'll do a reading on Fox too. I did want to mention too, the other night, as Hurricane Nicole was heading for Florida, which I did predict that there was another hurricane coming to Florida that was smaller, but that was going to create a lot of damage. That was about a month ago. And I hope this is it. I think this is it. And people were asking me, what about Mar-a-Lago? Cruising 45 too small people. So somebody was asking about Mar-a-Lago. So we did a reading about Mar-a-Lago, and I saw the hurricane hitting that area, and I saw damage at Mar-a-Lago. And then I wondered if they had enough insurance, because it looked like that was going to be an issue. And lo and behold, I don't know about the insurance part, but I heard that Mar-a-Lago had to evacuate at 3 a.m. Trump stayed. So, and then there's Tiffany is getting married, and at Mar-a-Lago tomorrow. And I felt like that they were going to have to make some, accommodate things in a different way. And then just about Tiffany's wedding at Mar-a-Lago tomorrow, I also got that you're never supposed to upstage the bride, right? Isn't that a wedding rule? I don't know. I never was into that kind of thing. But anyway, you're not supposed to ever upstage the bride. And I got that Trump was going to upstage Tiffany. Let's ask the pendulum. Republicans need a refresher on fair play. They don't even know what that is. Is Trump going to announce that he's running for president at the wedding? Yep. Some Republicans will not vote to make McCarthy leader. I'm not even sure how that works. They have to... I think that what I picked up about Tiffany having her wedding at Mar-a-Lago was that she kind of got talked into it. And I'm not really sure. I'm going to pull 3 cards about that. I'm just kind of, flying by the seat of my pants here, just off the cuff. I don't have any set questions, but let's take a look at, because I got that Tiffany was talked into having the wedding at Mar-a-Lago. I don't really feel like it was her idea. Well, it's free, I would hope. I would hope that Trump wouldn't charge Tiffany to use Mar-a-Lago. Wait, let's take a look at the pendulum on that one. Do you think he would do that? As I drop all my pendulums, another one comes out. Did Trump ask for money for her to use Mar-a-Lago? I don't think it was free. I don't think it was free. I think the pendulum's going around. Well, this is like kind of. I don't think it was free. I don't think the venue, I don't think Mar-a-Lago was free for Tiffany to use for her wedding. That's crazy. I don't think it was free. I think it was maybe at a discount. It was at a discount. Oh my God. His own daughter. When I read on it the other night, I did feel like she was marrying, her soulmate, that she was really happy about marrying this man. She was supposed to have a destination. Oh, that's interesting, because I got that she was talked into having it at Mar-a-Lago. That's what I got. He's charging, but she gets a discount. He would charge extra, you think? And not only charge for the wedding, charge his daughter, but oh my gosh. Probably he got the husband to, the fiance's family to pay for it. Probably. Wait. Did Trump get the groom's family to pay for the wedding? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I don't. Yeah, I don't know who she's marrying, but definitely he got the groom's family to pay for it. Wow. Wow. He's such a grifter. Entertainment purposes only, but that doesn't even take a psychic, does it? It doesn't even take a psychic. Okay, what did I just promise you we were going to read on? Yeah, it's not free for Tiffany and her fiance. They're really rich. Yeah, who is she marrying? Really? A billionaire Lebanese family? Well, good for her. I mean, if she's into that, if she marries for money, or if she's in love and he happens to be a billionaire, what a family. Okay, I know you guys are chomping at the bit. You want me to read about Trump announcing. Well, let's just clear the energy. He'll say something. He'll say something. I'm not sure it's going to be out and out, I'm running for president. But I had said all along, no. Oh, by the way, I want to point out that, and I'll get to that in a second, Ukraine is having a big day today of feeling optimistic and feeling positive. We'll look into that too. I feel like the indictment for Trump is coming. Warren, where have you been? You weren't here last time? Because I answered that. The indictment's coming next week. Anyway, in Ukraine, they're celebrating their city that the Russians retreated from. That's kind of a big, big deal. Do I love Trump blaming Melania for telling him to back Oz? Yeah, he has no shame. When I found out the good news in Ukraine, like the Russian troops had to withdraw from Kherson, I think it's called. Yeah, Trump's making he's making an announcement about making an announcement. I felt like I had seen in the war in Ukraine, that December, January, something's really going to shift, and I feel like, what do you read in my mind, Warren? December, January. I get December, January. And I'm not sure what happened in the Egypt summit, climate summit. Warren, are you doing a reading on it too, and you see that? Putin's very ill, and I don't know if he actually showed up. Somebody said he was going to be there at that summit, whatever they call it. It's like a climate summit in Egypt. And somebody said that Putin actually, first he was going to go in person. I didn't think that ever happened. And then he's going to like stream in, and I don't think I just don't think that would have happened. I don't think Putin would have gone to that. I mean, he's pretty busy. Yeah, Sandy, I'm with you on that. Am I reading your name right? Always dropping things. I don't know what my chair cover says. This is my best friend sent this to me from Isha in Tennessee. Sadhguru's. I had to put Sadhguru higher because I had to put on my sign from one of my fans who's in Grassroots of Democracy. Says, "We are the power." Anyway, that's from Isha, the Isha Foundation, Sadhguru's foundation. I don't really know what. If you're from India, maybe you know what that says. I think we have somebody from India here. Pretty sure. So I think that Putin, I see it ending next month or January. I do. The toast to the bride will likely turn into a 40-minute rambling bunch of garbage about how great he is. Absolutely! Should we check the pendulum? Is it going to turn into... Oh my God, can you imagine if Trump gave the toast? I know the best man's supposed to give the toast, but I don't think that Trump would want to be upstaged by the best man. Is Trump going to go to, is Trump going to get up and do the toast? No, I think it's going to be a special, designated speech. It's not going to be the toast. Is Trump going to do a special designated speech time where he gets up and interrupts the band and says, "I have an announcement to make"? How could he? Yes. Oh my goodness, how could he? That's so terrible. That's terrible. Nobody should do that. You're not even supposed to wear white at a wedding if the bride's wearing white. Wedding favors will be classified documents. He can't help himself. He can't help himself. And here's the thing. I don't think he should announce that he's running for president. It's not in his best interest. The Republicans will be so angry. And honestly, I keep getting no that he won't announce. So Trump to upstage his own daughter. Maybe, it's not his favorite daughter. He does play favorites. If Putin is leaving soon, others have seen that Trump and Putin leave and die at the same time. Well, they're like two peas in a pod, but I don't see Trump dying at the same time. I don't think Trump is as sick. I don't think he's well, but I don't think he's as sick. We hear all kinds of different reports about Putin, and people ask me, is it a double? Is Putin a double? And it's not. Kim Jong-un is, and I've felt that for a long time. Since, remember, Kim Jong-un got so sick, and then we didn't see him for a while, and then the person that's supposed to be Kim Jong-un, different energy. If you read energy, you could totally see it. But Putin is very sick, and I see him very weak, and he might have live streamed into that Egypt thing, but I don't think so. I'll have to get the facts on that. I heard he has pancreatic cancer. I don't know where this information leaks from. Today they were having a meeting. I did see, actually on Hal Sparks. I've been watching a little bit of Hal Sparks. He covers the news. He's very funny. Just recently, a couple times. But he was showing video of a meeting in Russia where they were really totally, breaking the news that Russia was losing, basically. Hal Sparks, yeah. He's very dedicated. I really appreciate the YouTubers, people that are on YouTube and they have channels that are really dedicated, because it makes us, the rest of us, dedicated. He'll pass the hat for donations. Trump will at the wedding. That's so funny. Okay, so let's take a look. Somebody, I know somebody just put a question up in the chat about Brittney Grines. Is it Grines or Grimes? Grines. And that's too hard for me to look at. So, we have to be sending a lot of love and help. Let's send legions of angels to Brittney Griner. Thank you, Griner. I think at the same time there was somebody with the last name of Grimes when the news about Brittney was out. I got confused. But it's really bad. She got sent to a penal colony. Think concentration camp. That's what she's going through right now. So I've been thinking about that. Yeah, I've been thinking about that today, and not long ago, I got, over the summer, I said I felt like Brittney Griner would be released in January. So that would line up with the war on Ukraine ending. And that would line up with Putin being, gone. Griner. I know, I asked for correction. I don't need the exclamation. Bond blue. I'm sorry. Let me just let you know. This is a big reveal. When people tell me what to do, it's just like, I'm fine. I love you all. I'm just kidding. But if you're an astrologer, I've got Scorp rising and Moon in Taurus, which are both fixed signs. Okay. Okay. Yeah, give me a break. Give me a break. I get as many names right as I can. You know who I mean. Griner. Which is not as common of a name as the other. Anyway, let's look at Putin. Let's look at what's going on in Russia. Let's use these happy cards, these happy bright cards, to see what's going on in Russia. I know it's very out of congruence, but we'll go for it. It was so good to see the Ukrainians singing and happy. Those people, it kind of puts us to shame if we're not fighting hard for our democracy. It absolutely does. And I think that was a component too. I think that, you know, seeing what the Ukrainians were willing to do. Like, remember when Zelensky was being offered by other countries, by world leaders, he was being offered, do you want us to come and get you? Because Putin wanted him assassinated right away. That was his first thing. Oh, we have a troll. We have a porn troll. Thank you, wielders of the wrench. Lisa Sharp, she's pretty sharp. And Zelensky said, I don't want a car. I want weapons. Yeah, thank you, troll slayers. You're awesome. If you're going to pass the duty on to somebody else, I just want you to know that I can get other moderators too. So just so you know, so you don't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm obligated. But I really appreciate it. So Zelensky was not going anywhere. And you know, think about February, where I was hosting meditations for Ukraine regularly. That energy is still going. You know, it's still going. We're still praying for Ukraine. And they hung in there. And I think that was a factor. And even if it was subconscious in Americans' minds, like what the Ukrainians were willing to do to stay independent, to remain a sovereign nation, and then for us to be like, oh, I don't know if I feel like voting and standing in line. Did that have an effect on people in the United States voting? Yes, it did. Whether we realize it or not. I love this pendulum. This is from a company called Project Yourself, if you want to look them up online. I like to let you know where I got these things. But sorry, I don't know what the Indian... I don't know what that word is. It's probably Isha. We're looking at cards about Russia. I have my window open and I haven't heard the bottles smash. If you're new here, I'm on Main Street where I live, and there's a restaurant, and they always dump the beer bottles into the recycle bin or something, and it's always very loud. Okay, so this is Russia, the Hermit. I haven't seen the Hermit card before. That's interesting, because these cards are new. This is Russia. This is Putin. This is where we're very isolated. Yeah, it's early for the beer bottle crash. That's true. I keep thinking it's later than it is. It looks like it's 10 o'clock since the time change. And then it clouded up here later in the day, so it feels like 10 o'clock. Which wouldn't be unusual for me to be here at 10 o'clock. This is Putin. This is Russia. Oh, any minute now. Probably on cue. Judgment, the rest of the world. This is, oh no, this is like... No, this deck is Tarot of the Divine. I got it at Marshall's, which is just kind of like the same as TJ Maxx. Tarot of the Divine. Let me show you again, because I really like these. They're really fun. It's good to change it up once in a while. So Russia, Putin looks like a goner, because see, this is the Hermit, so he's completely isolated. He did it to himself. This is a Judgment card. He's got karmas. Think about, just speaking about sending energy, how many people of the world hate Putin. And you know, when you send people love energy, they heal. If you hate somebody, that affects them too. That's like a negative, that's like an evil curse. It's, you know, probably not intentional, but if you think of him and you're so angry, he picks up, you know, that affects his energy. And then the Five of Wands. Yeah, Russia's going to be kind of like, see the guy with the two. I should look at all these cards. I haven't seen them before. Saw a lot of them. I just get the sense about Russia that when Putin's gone and the war is just over, just like the fallout, like, oh my, what do we do now? What do we do with this? It's really amazing what Putin did, because he just destroyed Ukraine. They won't have money to rebuild it. He depleted his military. It's just, that's a sick, sick man. But, you know, his energy is so much like Trump's. They really are so much like each other. And the thing, you know, this is why we have to work so hard for our democracy, for the most benevolent and wonderful outcomes in our elections, and that Trump doesn't. I mean, you can do a binding spell in your head where you wrap Trump in white light, and so he can do no more harm, because Trump, and Michael Cohen said this on MSNBC today. He was being interviewed, and he said the thing about Trump is he hates losing so much that he thinks nothing of just destroying, just taking America down. And that's what Putin did. Putin pretty much, he not only took down Ukraine in a certain way, he destroyed Ukraine, but they're fighting back. And you know, Trump would do the same thing, just because Putin just invaded, you know, Crimea and Ukraine because he just wanted it, right? Trump just wanted to look like the winner, and Trump did. He just wanted to be the winner. He just, you know, it's like when they want something, it's just like, I'm just gonna get it. It's crazy. What'd you say, Warren? Well, it's good news. Cortez Masto is closing in, but you know how crazy that'll make you, because in 10 minutes or less, they'll be saying the opposite. Trump wanted to stay out of jail. Oh, we were supposed to look at whether he's going to announce. You love Michael Cohen quoting the grandfather about Trump. What? I didn't see that. I love Michael Cohen quoting his grandmother about Trump. Oh, I did hear that. What do you call it in Jewish? Ganesh von Ganesh, nothing from nothing. I'm trying to think of what we call him in Sicilian. Abida. That's like a big mess. You're a big mess. I'm sure there are other words, but I won't say them now. Okay, I'm going to look at next week for Trump. Okay, you ready? This might take a few cards. Next week for Trump. What do you want to know? You want to know if he's going to be indicted. I feel like, I don't know, maybe check with an astrologer. Any astrologers in the house? Oh, that's interesting, Carol, that you heard Tiffany did not have much say in the marriage. I don't pick that up. I pick up that she's in love with the guy. Warren, you're so bossy tonight. I want the day, and I want the time, and I want to know what he's going to say. No, I'm just teasing you. I'm just teasing. All right. Is Trump going to announce? Yeah, I thought that Tiffany was in love with the man she's marrying. Is Trump going to announce that he's going to run for president next week? I get no every time. You think it's... Oh, the wedding's tomorrow. Why do I get no every single time? Let's ask the cards. That's what they're here for. Why do I get no that he's not going to announce? He might get talked out of it. You know, I heard about the Ukrainian woman who gave it. Oh. The image of the elderly Ukrainian woman who gave the Russian soldier a pocket full of sunflower seeds, so when he is killed, flowers will grow to replace him. Did she say that to him? Probably. Well, he announced that he will not run. Gosh, I can't imagine that. Will Trump announce that he's not going to run? No, I just don't think he'll announce. He's got a lot of people kind of threatening him. You better not. You better not. You better not. Oh, that's great about that old Ukrainian woman. And then wasn't it true early on that the young women in Ukraine that, the Russian soldiers were, I don't know, they were probably hitting on them or something. They said they were going to put a curse on the Russian soldiers, so that their male part would shrink up. What was that story? It was pretty funny. You probably remember. It'll come to me. We're pulling 3 cards about Trump announcing. It just gives you the heebie-jeebies, doesn't it? Gloria, I'm not answering that. I'm not answering questions that are way, way, way too emotionally charged. The Ukraine Wiccans, they said that their private parts would shrivel up. I have to look that story up. Let me know if you find it. He has to go before the court on 11/14. That might put a damper on things. I can't believe how many times I've gotten no. But it's happened before that I kept getting no about something, and like for instance, the curse was elderly women calling themselves witches. Yeah. Gonna need to run to the toilet bowl when I see these cards. No, I think we're good. What I really do, I keep getting indictment. I keep picking up on indictment. So I'm going to just tell you a little bit of how this works too. There have been a couple of times that I thought something was really going to be the case, and it ended up not being the case. And here's one. Full disclosure. When the Russian tanks were like at the border on Ukraine, and they were just sitting there for the longest time. Remember that? And people kept asking, is Putin going to invade Ukraine? Is Putin going to invade Ukraine? And even the best psychics didn't see him invading Ukraine. And the reason that I got was because he was no match for NATO. So sometimes we can go to the logical brain and be like, oh, why would he do that? But at the Russian meeting today, I guess it was the military guys. I don't know specifically what kind of meeting it was, but I saw it on Hal Sparks. He was showing video of a meeting of the military guys in Russia, where they were pretty much saying they're no match for NATO. They're no match for NATO. So I smell food burning. Can you turn the TV back on yet? Is the coast clear? Not yet. Don't watch the news. Watch sitcoms. We had all kinds of suggestions the other night for favorite sitcoms. That's for sure. So this is about Trump. Well, I was getting hits today that Katie Hobbs would win. You love Hal Sparks? I don't think he's for everyone, but he's pretty funny. I always watch late night. I always watch it the next day. I don't have a TV. Okay, I actually feel like Trump is going to get talked out of announcing that he's running. I feel like he's going to get talked out of it. And how he's going to get talked out of it is, see the coins? Is the money. You like Jimmy Kimmel? Seth Meyers might be my favorite. We all have different, we have our own styles of humor. They're all funny. And I recommend getting your news that way. You want Rosanna Dana? I'm trying to remember how. Oh, she would rant. Yeah, I can kind of do that. Yeah, well, this is what I'm getting. He's going to get a better deal. Yeah, Terror of the Divine. These are pretty cards. Because I'm getting 2 of coins. I'm getting 6 of coins. It's almost like someone's going to pay him not to announce. I got to look up some old SNLs and remember Rosanna Dana. Was she the one that said never mind? No, the never mind was when Gilda Radner did. That was the elderly lady who kept hearing things wrong. There's a new TV show called Ghosts. Huh? Is it about ghosts? Yeah, SNL was really funny way back when it started. You're getting good vibes. I've been getting good vibes too. I got tweet Scotchy. It looks like they're gonna. This is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing Trump getting talked out of announcing that he's running for president. And the way he gets talked out of it is a money thing. But honestly, it's it's almost like if your favorite meal was behind a glass door and it was locked away from you and you were looking at your favorite meal and you were like, hadn't eaten in 5 days. That's how it feels to Trump to not announce. Well, Philip, see, what you might be picking up on is that how much he really is intending to. But what the cards were indicating was it's almost like someone's going, I'll pay you not to do it. Pendulum. Is Trump going to be talked out of announcing because of like money? He can't stand it. He can't stand not saying it because he wants his face to be plastered all over the news. But I don't know. The New York Post had that picture of him looking like Humpty Dumpty. Did you see that? So I don't know how much publicity he would want, and he's a big loser. I mean, I don't know. The MAGA is going to fade out, just so you know. He's starting to feel like a loser. Well, he's getting really desperate. But it feels like somebody's paying him to not, Trumpty Dumpty, that's what it said on the New York Post front page, with a very awful picture. Will a judge give him a gag order? A gag order for what? To not announce? Is that what you mean? Are you asking, will a judge give him a gag order to not announce? I'm not understanding the question. Of course his family is sick of him and the whole thing. Yeah, definitely they are. In fact, Ivanka and Jared said if he announces he's running for president, they want nothing to do with it. Let's pull a few cards about how he's feeling. But I might trade the cards because they're so. No, I'll use these. It's just they're so nice and happy, these cards. I got the Tower. I just said these cards are so nice and happy. Maybe I'll switch cards, and then the cards showed me the Tower as if to say we're not too happy. We're not too light and fluffy. That's a change. That's a change for Trump. That's definitely a change for Trump. So while we're at it, that card just pops right out of the deck. Believe it or not. Let's see. He's flipping out. Okay, so I'm picking 3 more cards about Trump's state. This is him acting like an amateur, rushing in with a sword, wielding a sword, and that's really about his very vicious words. So this is how Trump is feeling. The Tower. This is the Knight of Swords. He's coming charging in with the sword, just wielding the sword. Yeah, his language. It's almost like he's going to be reaching for the most bottom of the barrel things that he could say to somebody to completely insult them, like the worst insult. I mean, I think he lays awake at night because he doesn't sleep. He looks awful. I think Trump lays awake at night trying to think of more, like he called Ron DeSantis Ron DeSanctimonious. he's going to reach for the bottom. Just when you think they've reached the bottom of the barrel, Trump and his cohorts, they go even lower. We saw that with Paul Pelosi, right? And, I mean, heinous things. You don't realize people are this horrible, but they can be. This is how he's feeling. I actually I feel like Trump has somebody around him that acts as the person that calms him down. And it's not Melania. It's not Melania. Yeah, he's not sleeping. So he's a really big mess. And all he's consumed with right now is how to take somebody down with his words. Maybe Barron's, presence makes him feel calm, makes him feel like, no, that's not it. The guy has just said that's not it. I feel like he has somebody, like an advisor or somebody that knows what to say to calm him down. Oh, he's totally raging. Oh, you would not want to be within 10 feet of him. No, I don't feel like it's a woman. I feel like it's a man. It's definitely not Melania. But it's a good thing. I mean, you can throw out some names and I can see. Yeah, like the maitre d' at Mar-a-Lago, something like that. It's a man. I'm picking up on a man. Maybe, is it Jason Miller or is it Mark Meadows? Somebody's kind of going, whoa, whoa, don't throw the plate with the ketchup at the wall. You might not want to do that. Those are nice plates like that. You don't want to have to pay for them. Is it Mark Meadows? No, it's not Mark Meadows. Yeah, Barron's not digging this. Poor kid. He didn't have any choice in the matter. Is it Hope? No, I said it was a male. I kind of feel like who said the maitre d'? It's almost like that. Somebody who's kind of like not that important. There's a plate full of eggs. All right, you hear the bottles? Bottle smashing time. Oh my goodness. Is it his butler? Is it Trump's butler? It actually feels like it's like his butler or it's one of his personal assistants or like driver or somebody. My Pillow, Mike? Is it Mike Lindell? I can't imagine Mike Lindell calming him down. This bottle crashing. It's kind of like trademark, right? Friday night beer sales. Yeah, we know how well the restaurant's doing tonight from the beer bottle smashing. I feel like it's somebody, Rudy. Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean you're naming people that are just crazy. This is somebody who's calm. I keep gravitating towards, is it Jason Miller, his like publicist or something? Not Steven. I think that's his name. Is it? I love the beer bottle crash. Is it like, yeah, is it Jason Miller? There's somebody who's, no. It's not somebody who's crazy. You put all these names of crazy people, there's a lot of them. Not Stephen Miller, the other one. Isn't there a Jason Miller? It's a releasing feeling, the bottle's crashing. I think it's in Japan. They have places you can go to smash plates. Yeah, Jason Miller. I feel like it's Jason Miller. That's what the pendulum's saying. It's Jason Miller. I wonder what he says to him. Viewers can go to Postcards to Voters. Is that the name? There's a few organizations. Yeah, it's Jason Miller who calms him down. Now, what I want to ask is, well, since he's the one that calms him down, is Jason Miller going to talk Trump out of making the announcement? Yep. And actually, the way that they're doing this, yeah, and one of his lawyers and she has to, his lawyer, Haba, I forget her first name, is having to pay a hefty fine, and she's probably going to get barred from practicing. Oh, you crack plates and grease. I think it's really healthy to do that. You know, in a safe environment, go smash some plates. I think we need those in the United States. Yeah, Warren's asking about the lawyer's name. Is that her name? The other ones. The other one is. Is Jason Miller talking to Trump about how he'll be able to have more money if he doesn't announce? It is about money. That's the only thing that's going to be a deterrent. Now, there's no guarantee that he's not going to just do it anyway. But I feel like would that potentially lead to total financial ruin for him? Okay, it's showing up that it could lead to total financial ruin. Trump might have a catch-up wall at Mar-a-Lago. I think part of the pleasure gets out of I think the pleasure of throwing the plate against the wall is that he gets to ruin the wall. It's a good form of meditation and focus. What? To throw plates? I don't think that would be very meditative. Yeah, what Kelly's saying, that kind of fits what I'm picking up on. Being promised a get-rich-quick scheme if he doesn't announce. You're writing 100 postcards for the upcoming runoff. What did you say it is, the name of that? Postcards to Voters. I guess that would be postcardstovoters.org. I sent a bunch of postcards to get out the vote to the younger generation. Oh, to play guitar. I thought you were talking about smashing plates. Oh, definitely. When I'm stressed out, take piano lessons or something. When I'm stressed out, I go to the music. I just go sing for a while. Works every time. Works like a charm. Yeah, so yeah, check out, I'm trying to remember the organization, Voting for Citizens, or there are organizations that you can send out postcards. We need to get out the vote for Warnock. They're doing a runoff. And Herschel Walker, the way that Lindsey Graham was talking about Herschel Walker, I mean, he's making himself look so racist and horrible. Yeah, Lindsey Graham I saw a clip of him, he was almost crying on Fox. Gardening's good. Yep. You think the younger generation is going to put up with this crap? Music videos lately. That's how Rose is relaxing with the stress of her brother being ill. What kind of music videos? Let's see, what else? Yeah, the younger generation, they're not going to put up with this crap. No way. No way. Music is therapy. That's why there's such a thing called music therapy. Sending resources to Warnock. Let's send money to Warnock as much as you can. Yeah, it's healthy to break plates, but you don't want to just be in your house breaking plates, and someone might call the cops. You need a place. 90s country. I lived in Nashville in the 90s, and I always say it's the best songs ever written. I'm a songwriter, so if you go to there's a lot of tacky, goofy country songs, but in the 90s, some of the best songwriters on the planet were in Nashville in the 90s. The whole decade. Amazing. Oh, Kelly waited for 2.5 hours in line to vote. Yay! So they call it a smash room if you go in and you can smash plates. That's cool. What else do we need to read on? I know there's a gazillion things. We're going on, I'll stay on for another 20 minutes. 440 postcards. Wow! Did you have to write on all those postcards? I am really impressed. Anna wins a prize. Kentucky said no to banning abortion. Yes, yes, yes. Can you believe the student debt forgiveness got blocked last night? Midas Touch has a vid about that, and that was not proper what they did. Yeah, I'm not going to read on specific races specifically. And here's why, because I'm picking up on the energy of who actually won. I'm picking up on the energy of the actual winner. Like, for instance, in 2000, if I was doing a reading about Gore and Bush, I would have picked up on Gore winning. If I had done a reading in 2016 about Hillary and Trump, I would have picked up on the energy of Hillary winning. So that's why I'm not really calling the who's going to win. Because the actual people that voted are not. The actual people that wanted the certain candidate were either suppressed from the vote. They're in Pennsylvania. They were doing this thing where if you didn't write the date, they just disqualified your vote. And then they make it so hard for people to have to wait in line like all day. Anna sent $5. Oh, I thought it said $5. Sent money to Warnock. Yeah, people have been robbed of their seat. And then, beware of people pointing to you and going, you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing that. You know full well that you're not doing whatever they're accusing you of because they're trying to hide that they're doing that. Ask if Beast won, and I don't understand what you're asking me. Those people did win in that. Yeah, they won the popular vote. Right. Right. Somebody just wrote that they liked that song Cake, and it reminded me that I asked people to bring cake to our Grassroots of Democracy meeting tomorrow. We're all going to have a piece of cake. I might have a piece of blueberry pie. I think I'm going to buy a piece of blueberry pie. Gosh, there's so many things we can ask. Let's do this. Before we ask how next week is going to go. We're going to ask... See, what I'm picking up on, I mentioned it earlier, is that there are some people that will be, their seat will be threatened because there are indictments coming. There are indictments coming. You wrote the postcards yourself. I'm so impressed. Yeah, a piece of blueberry pie because I love blueberry pie, and also because of the blue wave. I love blueberry pie. I'm not going to make it. I'm just going to buy it somewhere. It's too much work. I made some pumpkin spice cookies, though. Those are delicious. I'm looking at, okay. So I have a couple questions in my head. So here's one. How will things look after these... How will things look after the midterms, after everything is settled down from the election and we know who's going to be seated? How will we be feeling then? Thank you all for hitting the thumbs up, and if you haven't, if you could, that would be awesome because it helps me somehow. Then I'll have blue teeth. That would be perfect. Look at this. Yeah, the red wave never happened, but this, it's hard to see it, but this says emerge fortified. I had fun making my collage for America, which my guides told me to do. So this emerge fortified, the way that it looks is it looks like it's the letters are in a wave. And then it says in a wave. And Abe Lincoln showed up in National Geographic magazine I didn't even know that I had in my office. Leftover from a vision board workshop. So somebody brought me, in 2015, Abe Lincoln was on the cover, and they have pictures of him at different stages of his life. So pretty interesting. I have been feeling great. I was feeling great about the midterms. There were a few times that I was just like, wow, I feel people being happy, and then I would flip on the news and something good had happened. Cool guides. Yes, my guides are really cool. Your guides are really cool too. Just listen to them. And come to the pendulum class on November 19th. That's in That's not tomorrow, but it's the next, not this Saturday, but next. PsychicAnetZeon.com. You feel much better. Good. I don't know what you did. What'd you do? That's what I'm reading. What I'm reading is how we're going to feel like after the dust has settled. So really after December 6th. When, we find out what happened in Georgia. Well, I got the strength card. We're going to be feeling strong. We will be feeling stronger. America will be feeling stronger. Yes. Somebody wrote Codify Row. Philip. That might have something to do with it. If we're feeling stronger after the dust has settled from these elections, that's a good omen. That's good news. The Knight of Cups, we're going to have, new resources. I feel like we'll have more resources. The Inflation Reduction Act means, this is interesting, I feel like more money is going to be flowing to the American people. Yeah, after the dust settles from the midterms, which is after December 6th. Because we have to get through that. And look at the Page of Wands, this cute card. Look at how happy that card is. I feel stronger since the midterms. Absolutely, Susan. I totally agree with you. I definitely feel stronger. The day after the election, it was just like, we've been together all week, right? We've been together way more than I usually come on, and it's just, I just felt so relieved, and I felt like a job well done. All of us that really just got out there and mailed the postcards, and I have Grassroots of Democracy, and that group will continue to sign up to join us. We have Zoom meetings twice a week. We'll take the weekend off Thanksgiving, and we'll take the weekend off Christmas time, but we'll meet. We'll keep meeting. This is just the beginning of us really coming together to save democracy. Yes, Joanne, great. What state did codify? Wasn't it Michigan? Oh, thank you, Damon. I guess that's good. Yeah, a lot of people in the chat. Really. And I feel like there aren't many other psychics on Friday night, too. Was it Michigan that codified abortion rights? Absolutely. And it feels good because it felt like we've gotten the game and we won. And we wouldn't have if we hadn't all gotten in the game. I was going to... and still will go to Adam Kinzinger's meetings, Country First. Yes, I was on a lot this week. A couple times I was just like, wow. I feel like I've been using so much energy. I mean, not like a complaint, but really putting it to use. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Susanna died. I agree with that. You feel like the GOP crap is almost a joke now. That's a good way to describe the shift. You were listening to me on your vacation? Somebody else said that last time. I think it was last Friday. She was like, I forget who it was. I'm camping with my family, but I had to turn you on. Turn on the show. I'm glad I can be of assistance. Really. You voted for Proposition 1. We're going to come out of this, and I mentioned that Autumn at Black and Orange mentioned, and it stuck in my head, that we're in Pluto return, but the worst of it, we've turned the corner. It's just been like one thing after another, and we just felt like we were drowning, but this is the first election since the insurrection. So it was really a statement about, we finally got to, through our vote, let them know how we felt about all that. House dams are leaving right now. That's great. You refuse to ban abortion rights. Good. Oh, did they really? Yeah. Yeah, it's important to word these things properly for the voters. I went right in and I was just like, oh, Democrat, 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 and one of them, a state senator from my hometown, I didn't vote for him. Hit the like button, thanks! Will Trump start a new party? You know what? Honestly, I think he's done. I think he's done. I mean, the Republicans are going to be begging on their knees for Trump not to run. But that isn't what will do it. What's going to do it is somebody's dangling a carrot, and it's in the form of money for him not to announce. Yeah, you just go right down the ballot. Democrat, 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 Democrat. So, this person I usually vote for, I voted for the other person. Because I was on him about a bill that I wrote with somebody else. It was about the environment, long story. But he said he would help, and then he kind of put it on the back burner. So I didn't vote for him. He's a Republican, not a nasty Republican, an old-fashioned kind of Republican. But I didn't even vote for him this time. Because I didn't want to split the ticket. I just wrote Democrat, Democrat. There's Chuck. Never underestimate the power of human stupidity to permit irresponsible authority is to sell disaster. Yeah, well, that's Trump. Yeah, I don't want to touch the topic of Nancy Pelosi right now. That's just like a raw, open wound. I feel so bad for, this really, maybe it just hits too close to home because my parents have been together for 62 years. And I just can't, I think 62 years, I can't imagine. I don't get that she's stepping down. She wouldn't, because it was a terrorist act and you don't succumb to terror. You don't let them win. That's not what you do. And she's really, yeah, thank you, Chuck, for all the great quotes that you put up. So Nancy really will hold strong to principle and not cave. I feel like she's in family discussions about, what they're going to do next. When you're into your 80s, you don't want to spend the rest of your days on this planet putting up with that. And Dr. Fauci is another example. No, they both have dedicated their entire lives, their entire working lives, decades, as public servants. So she would want to go out with, by her choice, not by being forced by this trauma inflicted on her. But it's too hard for me to look at that. Just like it's too hard for me to look for a Brittney Griner. It's different, but it's too hard. So, no MAGA party no, I don't get that at all. No, I feel MAGA fading away. And I get really aggravated at the news, which is why I'm not watching it anymore, and I keep pushing the Midas Touch YouTube channel. I just get really aggravated that they just keep saying, Trump is going to do this, and this is going to happen, and that's going to happen. I'm like, what are you... Come to my channel, news people, and I'll tell you what I think is going to happen. Because you're acting like you're predicting what Trump is going to do, and you're just making shit up. I can say that right. I won't get in trouble. Yeah, I didn't see the interview with Nancy Pelosi. I saw a little bit of it, just a little clip. I'm gonna sit down and watch the whole thing, but I got that she was. I can't even imagine the level of hurt that would cause. And I read a little bit about Paul Pelosi, and it said, he liked to sing at the community theater, and it's too close to home because my dad's like that. You know what I mean? He's sang barbershop. He doesn't do that anymore, but gentle soul. Yeah, when the news starts going on about what they do is they pick a topic and it's always around Trump or the domestic terrorism or don't they know we're already scared about that? Okay, we got the memo. That's scary. Do you have to tell horror stories? I don't get it. I don't get why they feel like they have to do that. Yeah. Yeah, Chuck, very generous with the quotes, and you might not know this, but I've always been into quotes. I've got quotes hanging all over my walls. You see some of them. I covered up, well, this one's covered up. The one that says, we give thanks that darkness reminds us of light. That one I covered up with my collage, temporarily. And that one underneath there says, that we wish to do, we all need somebody, or we all wish for somebody who makes us do what they know we can do. Something like that. Abbott's gonna be in big trouble with the DOJ. Are you talking about because of I get passionate. Rick. Are you referring to Abbott being in big trouble with the DOJ because of the their little ploy, their little prank shipping the immigrants? Just let me know why you're asking that, what you're referring to. Oh yeah, I think he bussed more immigrants to Chicago today. These people are heinous people. They didn't get voted in. Him and DeSantis. I mean, look at the shenanigans that they're up to. Do we really think that people wanted them to win? More people wanted them to win? Okay. Yes, he did. Yeah, they are deplorables. I don't know what I'm asking about Abbott. I'm asking about Abbott. It is kidnapping. It's completely illegal, and it's kidnapping. Are DeSantis and Abbott going to be held accountable for the crimes that they're committing against immigrants? Are they going to be held accountable? Well, I'm getting yes on that. So Maria, about the mainstream news, I really do think that I'm going to read about that right now. I do think that it's human trafficking that they were doing. That the mainstream news is taking notice. I do think the mainstream news is taking notice that, like, Midas Touch is almost up to 1 million subscribers. That's a lot of subscribers. I have a little over 7,000. I'm not scoffing at that, and please subscribe. I really appreciate it. I'm just saying that that's pretty huge. And David Pakman, who's from this area, Pakman, I subscribe to his channel, and he's got over 1 million. So the major networks, the news networks, will start noticing. And in fact, MSNBC had a clip of Midas Touch recently, kind of highlighting one of the ads that they ran on the Midas Touch station. So I'm going to pick 3 cards about, is a mainstream media news going to change what they're doing? Because people are, I'm not the only one. People are dropping like flies. Abbott's planning to run in 2024. I don't know if he's going to make that. DeSantis, for years now, I've seen him hauled off in handcuffs. No joke. I don't know if that was just symbolic, but I've seen DeSantis get in big trouble as I'm pulling the Justice card. That's a cool card.